Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
What's this digital nomad thing? I missed this.
Oh,
it's just like Tim Ferriss shit. Like,
digital nomad is basically like this new class. It's like a PMC worker who does some tech bullshit or creative director job or like a digital artist, people who like, in a just economy would be like, I don't know,
executed.
No, they would be assigned to like mining or something, but because they like went to RISD or, some fucking computer school, they get paid $100,000 to basically hop from Airbnb to Airbnb, do like some project management meeting every like 3 days, and post a bunch of annoying bullshit on their Instagram. But
dude, I need to start doing that.
Yeah,
that's the shit, dude.
For real, that sounds tight.
It looks really fucking appealing from the outside, and then you realize these people, they own nothing, but they're very happy.
They're sucking on the teeth of society. They're contributing nothing. They're the new finance bro.
Did we lose COH?
Yeah, we did.
Fuck.
We hopped out.
Oh, for real? Oh shit. His mic
to
was
be honest,
shaky as fuck.
I was just gonna say, like, the second he said he's working with like shitty Airbnb internet. I mean, we're probably just not gonna have him very much for this episode.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, well, I'll just tell him to record his own shit, and then maybe I can sync it up.
Just have him record like laughing a little bit, like a couple yes.
A couple of these people are sick. Stealing soundboard.
That's right. I'm gay.
So I'm at Slavoid T.
All right, this is Shit Spouter 37.
This is Black.com build.
This is the Fed Post.
So it's just him saying he's gay.
White hippie platitude bullshit. Yeah, that's all we need.
Well, actually, Marx said this.
He took offense when you said that the last time when you were like, "Oh yeah, a means of production, blah blah blah." He was like, "Damn, man, shots fired." He took that personal. All right. Digital. That's interesting. I'm reading about this digital nomad shit.
Yeah, I was reading something today. Some article came out that like something like 20 or 25% of Airbnb customers stay for more than like 20 days or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like Airbnb is no longer a stay a couple days at a vacation spot. It is they're moving into the like we're just landlords with no regulations space.
Yo, that's the whole share economy shit. That's what they always warned about. It's like it'll become like nobody, it's all transient, like more transient than people moving in and out of apartments every year, like even more, just like every couple months.
I remember there's that lack of sleep. I fucking when I went and stayed in LA a few years ago, I stayed at like this Airbnb, and like everyone that fucking lived there was like people trying to get into the film industry.
Oh yeah.
And they just lived there. Like they had all lived there for like kind of an average of like 6 months. Like some of them had been there more than that. It was honestly fucking just bizarre. And it was super weird because I remember like it was kind of basically just like a college party house type deal. And like the landlord would just come in and just like yell at you randomly that you were following the rules. And like I was just sitting there like, this is the most dog shit hotel that I've ever stayed in. And then just like imagining that like it's not a hotel. This is people's fucking day in, day out reality. Just that fucking sucks. Dude.
Yeah, I was just on Airbnb because I'm getting a spot in like Philly and like somewhere down south for July 4th. And I saw that one of the options was monthly stays. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like just staying for months. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, who does that? But apparently now I realize most people are. That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I was on Airbnb a little bit ago because a bunch of friends of mine and I want to go do like a trip to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and just like shoot guns, ride dirt bikes, set shit on fire. After spending a fucking year dealing with COVID shit, we just want to pretend we're like 14 again. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think it's going to happen. But like, I'm really glad we made the decision not to fuck with Airbnb and instead just do a fucking campground, because for like, all these Airbnbs are like $100, $150, $200 a night for like a cabin with like not even that much space, you know, maybe two bedrooms or whatever. Instead, you get a campsite for like $40 a night, and like you can have like 4 or 5 tents in one campsite. It's
well, and this is just like a national park, right?
I mean, it's just like the whole of like northern Michigan is pretty nice. So
okay, yeah. No, dude, for sure. Like I don't know, dude. These Airbnb, the last one I stayed in, it was like super cool. Like it was like right on a beach or whatever. But it's just kind of like it was like super loud people up above, and like I don't know. It always just has this kind of like janky feeling to it. But I feel like they kind of justify charging an arm and a leg just because it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like hip. It's like it's got this new kind of novelty to it.
It's been around for 10 years. But like, yeah, right. No, I feel you. They definitely have that like hip, Web 2.0, fucking digital nomad, like
the sharing economy.
A fucking like a palm tree on a marble table, and there's like a minimalist painting on the wall or so, that kind of vibe.
Yeah,
exactly.
And now there's Getaround. There's this thing for cars that I use because I was like looking for like a car rental to get to Jersey, and like that shit, it's like 150. You have to get it for the day, blah blah blah. But I saw there's this app where you can get it for like I got it for like half the price, and you can set the amount of hours. Somebody leaves their car, you walk up to it, the GPS shows you where the car is, your Bluetooth unlocks it, the keys are in it, you get in, and you just have somebody else's car for a designated amount of hours, and then you got to bring it back to the same parking spot or whatever. So it's pretty clutch, and it's pretty cheap compared to like the other.
Is it like someone else's car, or is it owned by the company?
No, it's somebody else's car. Well, there are some. Well, it's like Airbnb, right? Like somebody maybe with a lot of properties is maybe hosting it, but like sometimes there's a rental car company that's hosting it on Getaround too. But otherwise, it's just hosted by random people. Like if you got your car, you're on vacation for like 4 months or whatever, and your car's just sitting there collecting dust, you could be like, all right, I might as well make some money off of it. That's what people do at Airbnb. They're like, all right, well, I got this empty room. Right. Might as well make some money off of it.
Do they check your the tires? They check how much tread you wear out? Like, could I like rent somebody's like clapped out 07 BMW and take it on a track day?
Well, that's the fucking flaw with all this shit, dude. Because the answer is 100% not, right? Like they don't cover any of that kind of shit. That's why it's like it's not really a sound way of making money. I remember those like car-to-goes or cars to go.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Are they still around, or did they fold? Was it like a VC that just dried up, or are they still around?
I gotta say, I don't know for sure, but I haven't seen one in a while. And I remember like a few years ago, they had like a deal on them, and my friend and I just like blasted a BMW around the city for like an hour, and then just kind of that was the last time I ever used one.
Oh shit! As of 2019, car to go leaving North America.
There it is.
Wow. And they said we're not in the position to commit to the level of investment necessary to make it in the North American market. This is just a fucking VC pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've never heard of Car2Go. I didn't know that. So it's a similar thing, basically. Like,
well, to be fair, I think Car2Go was, unless I'm mixing it up with some other just similar services, I feel like Car2Go was around for like some time, because I remember. I'm in Seattle, right? So like, I think a lot of this stuff, it's like the first iterations of it I'm probably seeing, but like, I remember like, yeah, it's the same thing as you're describing, except I don't think any of them were like owned by private individuals. And like most of them were like little smart cars. But yeah, some of them you can buy you can kind of like, grab like a nice sports car or something. It's kind of cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess this shit is more convenient, but at the same time, it's the whole idea of like nobody has any assets. It's the whole you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, type of thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also just like with the like not being able to offer it in North America. Like none of it is a scam. Like none of this shit makes anybody any fucking money. And I guess like I don't know. I mean, I had fun with it, just like driving a car irresponsibly around, but none of these things usually actually benefit people that matter.
Like if you needed it more than a couple nights, you could just go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and find a fucking beater and put like 100 miles on it and then sell it for the same amount of money that you bought it for at the end of whatever trip you're on.
After you smash the windows and lit it on fire. Yeah.
Airbnb wouldn't surprise me if it was, just because there's like so much put on the actual, I mean, what do you even call the people that rent their fucking properties out? Like their clients in a way. I don't fucking know. But when it comes to like car to go or something, like they're not making shit on that. I don't think that Uber makes shit. Definitely not Uber Eats. And yeah, I don't know. This all just always reminds me of Movie Pass. Movie Pass was like the one example of this kind of stuff that was like, hell yeah, this rocks. It benefited me immediately. Movie Pass was great.
Well, I don't know. Okay, yeah, Uber. I mean, they went public, I guess, relatively recently, but like that's the other thing is like, yeah, they're not profitable. But then I wonder if it's that thing like Amazon like stays below profit, right? Because it's like that basic like microeconomic shit where like you keep yourself at a loss and keep funneling profits into expanding the business. So that it's
you keep rolling losses forward so you have the tax advantage.
Right.
So they keep doing it.
So I wonder if Uber is sort of doing that as well, or these other share economy things where like maybe they are making profit, or you know some of it's siphoned to some offshore account, like all these other fucks, and they're just staying off the books. I don't know.
I think it's all
Uber.
It's all the same.
Uber was saying.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say that Uber, like, they consistently, like, don't meet any expectations. Like, every quarter, they fail. And I know that they recently said that they're giving up on the self-driving car thing.
Hell yes.
So, like, their whole game was that they're going to have the self-driving cars and shit like that. So now I think the future for Uber is they're just going to sell that, like, your driver's rating system as a type of, like, social credit. That's the only thing I can possibly think that they'll use that for, because they have no assets, they have no future projects that are profitable or they're working towards. So I think that they're eventually going to start making some universal like social credit system, kind of like in China, like with Uber's ratings and stuff for passengers and drivers. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but that's what I think they're going to start doing, and it'll apply to like other services and shit.
I could see that, like some Black Mirror shit. I feel like all these are like the same kind of in the same vein. They're a little bit of a loss leader. Like they're definitely losing money, and they're also moving money around like a fucking shell game. So it's just a loss leader so that they can eventually introduce, like what you said, CRK, an economy where nobody owns anything at all. You're constantly renting, and I think that it relates to like a social credit thing. But it's going to be decentralized, right? Like,
right.
Like I think that a lot of the right wing people think there's like some sort of liberal tyranny that's never really going to come, where it's like Kamala Harris dressed up as like Der Fuhrer raining down edicts on them, when in reality, like she's one of the most unpopular politicians alive, and like the libs just do it for free. Like half of the country is willing to decentralize the tyranny and basically just uphold whatever the Biden administration says through scolding people, whether it's like, scolding people for not seeing both sides of the Israel-Palestine thing, or scolding people for like, I don't know.
I don't want to wear a mask because I'll look like a Republican.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep wearing a mask. I'm going to keep wearing a mask anyways, indoor in my house alone. You know,
yeah, a bunch of different people just doing the work so that the elites, like, they don't ever have to put on the real fascist mask.
That is wild. That is.
I mean, that's kind of like how I interpreted like the mask move this last week. Generally, it's just like I mean, all enforcement for this stuff is just going to go to private businesses, right? I mean, it's just neoliberalism, right? But like it's not actually going to change anything. So you kind of have to wonder like what the actual point of it is. And I think it's just to get a little bit of pressure off of like the government, just like a little less unpopularity. Because again, this isn't going to fucking change anything at all. I'm still wearing a mask to every fucking place I go to.
I haven't seen anybody not wearing a mask. And I went to Costco.
Seen zero change.
I went to Costco. Everybody was fucking wearing a mask. Like I went to a outdoor dining thing. Everybody's wearing a mask.
Drew, in Texas, they don't give a shit.
No, dude. Our base governor, Greg Abbott, like a couple of months ago, he ended the mask mandate.
Hell yeah.
And so, like some companies, some stores and stuff like that, they required it. But now, after this past announcement, I go into places, they have that sign up. I still walk in without a mask. I go into Ubers, I don't wear a mask. Go to bars, I don't give a shit. And my friends, I guess it doesn't matter. I was seeing this girl, and she's a nurse. And she works in an emergency room. And when the CDC announcement happened, I was like posting all on Twitter about how fuck liberals, I'm not wearing a mask anymore. And she got fucking pissed at me. And then we actually, she sent me this text, and she was just like, "We had 2 people die of COVID today. You understand that? Like I work with these people. It doesn't matter if we're vaccinated. We don't have herd immunity and all this shit." And like all the while, I'm just tweeting this nonsense. We actually broke up because of that.
No way.
Are you serious? Yeah, I was only seeing her for like 2 weeks.
Dude, thank you for your service, man.
I think the real miracle here is how you were able to meet somebody at all during COVID.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's been a struggle. I've actually met a couple of people. I mean, down here in the South, it's just different than I guess up north. But
yeah,
I had a couple of relationships during COVID. But that one was like the quickest,
quickest turnover.
Yeah, quickest. Like I was like, I've never had a breakup that fucking fast.
Damn, so you give out your handle like that? Like when you meet someone, you tell them the handle. Like I don't tell anybody my handle.
Yeah. Well, what happened was like we went to a baseball game. And like I was like taking pictures, and she's like, where are you posting this on? I'm like, oh, I'm just posting it on Twitter. She's like, what's your Twitter? I'm like, I was like, we should talk about this later. And then,
yeah, I'm not telling you my handle till the fucking ring's on the finger.
She's like, what's your Twitter? You're like, okay, so first of all, have you heard of cum tributes?
Yeah. So later that night, I was like, this is my Twitter. I explained the whole anonymity thing. Yeah. So she followed me. She blocked me this morning, but I don't want to get too into that. Really. But yeah, so she found my Twitter. I showed her it. She thought some of my tweets were amusing, but I might not even retweet this because I'm talking about her. But we'll see. Fuck it. I'll do it anyway. She's like a super normie type. She like retweets like horoscope shit all day.
Based.
Like her entire feed is her posting about like being a Taurus, and this morning I saw she was retweeting a bunch of shit about how Aries men are like just assholes and like uncaring and not in tune with their emotions. And
this is a medical professional here we're talking about.
Oh my god! Dude, we gotta close the career gaps and get more male astrologists.
Absolutely, that's the real gap, the gender gap. God,
yeah. We need more men in the field that's complete dog shit that produces nothing of value at all. Yeah, I don't know, man. You're feeling pretty solid about that, though. You don't think she's gonna be kind of vengeful?
Well, I blocked her number this morning. I'm gonna send y'all a picture just of the chat of ours of like what happened last night, and I blocked her number.
Oh hell yeah!
And so I posted it on Maine too, and like went private for a bit, and so I deleted it. But no, it's been a train wreck, dude, just all around.
I like that. So, I like that Drew's so autistic. He's just texting everywhere. He's tweeting everywhere he goes, and she's just like, "You've been doing this for the last 3 hours. What are you up to?" He's like, "Oh, I work for the government. Oh, I work for the CIA. I can't."
I'm actually AOC's social media. Yeah, exactly. No, you got to make a burner, dude.
Just out like living life, like getting memories and everything, and just every few minutes pulling out your phone to just tell Nico Lowell that she's so beautiful.
While you're getting pussy, you're just like, yo, Nico, you're so hot, you're so fine. Rolled over and started shit posting.
Yeah, that's my life. I'm so bad about it. Like I recently, like I was hanging out with friends and I was like having a good time. I was talking to them or whatever, and I just noticed I kept opening my fucking phone and like looking at my Twitter notifications. I'm like literally in a conversation with a person. I'm doing this. I had to like eventually turn my phone off and put it into a different room. I'm that fucking bad. Like it's horrible. Dude.
Damn.
Well, yeah, they've trained our brains. Like that was the goal from the start. That's always been the plan. Is and like if you don't look at your phone for a couple of hours, you start to feel this like gnawing anxiety at the back, but you can't place it. You don't automatically associate it with the phone. You're just like, why do I feel like I'm not doing something that I need to be doing?
Serotonin's been rewired. It's been rewired as a mother. I know. I can't judge. I'm bad too. I'm totally bad.
Dude, and that's like, dude, the shit that we've been talking about like the last couple of weeks of I mean, it's not just leftists. They just do it more than anybody. But the whole like when someone says something true that you just like don't want to argue against, you just go like, oh my God, like I can't believe you actually think that shit. Like, what are you, a fucking boomer or something like that? And there is like no better fucking example of that than just anti-phone stuff. Like, yeah, it's totally cliche and trite, but it's like it's fucking actually it's like profoundly important. Like, and it's very fucking obviously so. But like, yeah, like I mean, just like making fun of phones is so gauche, and so it's just constantly made fun of. But like, bro, it's completely fucked up.
Yeah,
it's completely fucked up.
But even like I remember 5-10 years ago, there would be people who like refused to get a smartphone. They would have like a shitty flip phone, and those would be the hippest people you would know. And now those people are like the first to like, you know, line up online for an opportunity to advance like some art career or something.
Dude, tyranny of the art students.
Seriously.
Yeah, I knew somebody who held out for a while and then eventually like for work or whatever, like you just had to, and you just eventually you fold and you got to give up the Nokia flip phone or whatever, the shell.
My phone actually died recently. And I was like just so I was very, very close to just going and just doing the flip phone pill. And then honestly, like the main thing that just like kept me from doing it is just that like sending text. I mean, I guess the idea is you just don't send text. You just have people call you if it's critically important. But just texting on a T9 keyboard just seems like a fucking nightmare that I don't want to go back to. So that was really the main thing. But I just bought like $100 like Moto unlocked phone online, just like complete piece of shit. And like I'm kind of like happy with that compromise of like I just have like an old ass smartphone right now, and it just does everything I want it to do, and it just like doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't know. I think the flip phone does sound nice, and I'd like to get to a place where I can do that. Yeah, 100%. Or not even the flip phone, just get the straight up just Nokia brick.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was over at my grandma's like because she can't fucking hear for shit, so I got her like this headset that connects to your TV, so it just blasts whatever's on the TV in your ears.
Nice.
So, but I was there and I was like, oh, so this thing it charges via USB. Do you know what USB is, Grandma? She's like, she's showing me like they have phones now that are like built to mimic like an old school phone. So it looks like it was made from like in like 1998, but it's like a 2020 phone with like USB-C or whatever. And I'm like, and that made me nostalgic. I was like, wait a second. If you can have this, why can't I just have like one of those things that like weighs 5 pounds and looks like a literal brick, just, you know, painted black?
Yeah, I'm sick of these new phones, like the Note or whatever, that's like fucking massive. I hate that shit. Like it's too big. It's trying to be like a tablet between a tablet and a phone. I hate that shit. But it's funny that like us talking about returning to tradition or returning to monkey is like going to a flip phone from like the aughts. Like, it's not even that long ago. Like it's really
right.
Everything's accelerated like crazy. It's wild. Like the shit we have now is going to be fucking ancient, you know, technology in like a couple years. Fucking bugged out.
I still think we should honestly have social media in our pocket. Like back in the day, do you remember when it was like Facebook on a computer and shit like that? Like that's how you logged onto that, like in 2008. it was a lot better then, but us having social media constantly, where we can like wake up in the morning, the first thing we see is social media. Like we're taking a shit, we're fucking like out on a plane.
Yeah.
Like constantly seeing updates about people's lives 24/7 is horrible for your mental health.
Yeah.
Dude, I think I'll say I took that break from Twitter recently. I didn't get like a huge difference from that, but like when you are using Twitter, literally just not having it on your phone so that I don't. Because here's the issue, right? I have a really productive day. I get home, kick my shoes off, and then I just immediately lay on the couch and just like take 5 minutes on Twitter that turns into like 45 minutes or an hour. And that's horrifying. You don't actually have that much fucking time in your day. And so but like just having it on the desktop, right? Like even just the simple shit of like, no, I need to be in a computer chair sitting upright, just like makes it. I'm like literally this is we're talking about how it's like return to tradition. I want a flip phone instead. It's like this is like the cucked bargaining we have. It's like, okay, well at least I'm using Twitter in a computer chair.
My latest thing that I've been doing like to try and get out of the screen is, I mean, I'm always on projects, but like my latest thing is like specifically just getting my hands all fucked up and greasy in the garage so I can't touch my phone. Like it's just on a fucking table over there, and my hands are completely like I look like a fucking monster. So if I touch my phone, it gets filthy. So I can't. Like I physically can't, and it forces me to focus on whatever the fuck I'm working on in the garage.
Do you sometimes go out of your way to not wash your hands? if you
Dude, my fingernails are black right now. My girlfriend hates it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's true, man. We used to need dial up to go on 8chan and all that, and now it's just all just attached to it. It's just fucking
sentences that have never actually been said before.
I was workshopping that one. No, but yeah, Ted Kaczynski, man, fucking on the money, man. Every year he's more on the money. And you seen that fucking, for real, he's a fucking visionary. You seen that fucking that clip of that it was like that, oh, my toddler was saying like remember to like and subscribe before they went to sleep because they thought it was saying goodbye. And there's like a faded photo of Ted Kaczynski just over there like that.
Fucking nightmare, dude. It's a fucking nightmare, dude. My so this is I got a buddy that does music lessons around the city, right? And it kind of just becomes like the impression I get, it kind of just becomes like glorified babysitting. Because like especially during COVID, of like you're basically just going over to people's houses and just watching their kids for a couple hours. And especially when they're just like cooped up inside their little like cuck cube junior, like they can't fucking focus on like learning fucking scales. So he goes over there and he's telling me this girl, because like what you do now, right, is you just like I at least had like a fucking Game Boy Color, right? Yeah. But like now it's like you give people you give kids like your old iPad or something, right? And then they just watch like, deranged shit on YouTube. And like this little girl's talking to him and she's like, when I have kids, I don't think I'm going to let them like watch videos on their phones. And it's just like, holy shit, like this kid understands like intuitively that like what is going on is fucked and that it's like not very good. And like, and I guess like the irony is like we're talking and he's like it's to the point where he's like straight up telling this kid's mom, like, you might want to like limit, your kid's like screen time. And she's like, oh, she can tell what's good for her and all that.
And it's like not a dog. It's not like you put food out for a dog and it eats what it needs to eat. It's a sentient creature. It's a fucking child.
Well, no, exactly. No, right. No, like with that logic, you've just like wiped away the need for parenting entirely, lady. But like ironically, she is true to an extent, or she is right to an extent, because like this kid can just tell on some level, like, I don't think that I should be watching this amount of YouTube every day, and I wouldn't have like my kid do this. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like being correct, but just like it just feels kind of horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Yeah, we do definitely sound like boomers right now. But
No, I think
that's okay.
It's like because the boomers, they're starting to sound like millennials. You know what I mean? Like my mom is talking about how she wants me to get her CBD and shit, and meanwhile I'm over here like the gas is $5 a gallon. We need to fucking nuke Washington D.C.
Yo, the gas thing, is that affecting you guys? Like, are you? I'm in the city, so it doesn't affect me at all. But do you guys see that, like, shortages and like all that shit?
Nah, gas where I'm at is like $3. It's
I think it's only affecting the southeast, like Georgia, Alabama, that area. But I know people in Texas, just because we're a retarded fucking state, just immediately started, going to the gas pumps, and we had some outages over here, or like they were like sold out of gas. I even went and got gas. I didn't even need it, but I saw people fucking filling it up in like these plastic containers, putting it in the back of their truck and shit with no lids. I was like, dude, are you for fucking real? There's a line to the gas station.
Yeah.
You're filling this shit. Oh my god.
You light a cigarette, it's fucking Zoolander. Yeah, you set your shit off and like
you drive 20 minutes home and like your IQ just drops like 15 points from just huffing those fumes the whole way. And like the other thing is, if like you're not gonna use the gas like that week, it's a waste. It's like it may be fine for like a lawnmower, but like I don't know. I mean, you don't want to let gas sit.
You really don't.
Yeah, it's funny. I seen like Biden posting L's was like they showed like a photo of Wolf Blitzer at a pump and it was empty and he was like pointing at it like, this is the 4th day in a row my gas station has no gas. It was just mad funny just seeing his face in front of that. Like,
and you can tell that this is a man who's acutely affected by this crisis.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just as a West Coaster, as someone on the West Coast, I mean, there's no shortages. It's just like consistently $4 a gallon, which sucks. But I can't. I'm not. Well, I mean, I can complain about it, but like it's not really affecting me all that much right now because like I'm unemployed at the moment, so I'm just like not really fucking going anywhere.
Don't you think it's curious that this gas shortage is caused by a pipeline, right? That got hacked and the hackers wanted Bitcoin ransom. At literally the same fucking week, Elon Musk stops accepting Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is crashing because, in part, I mean, obviously there's insane market manipulation and a clown economy, but in part because the ransom got paid, right? Who stands to gain the most from a nationwide gas shortage? It's and it rhymes with Elon Musk. I'm telling you, he's got billions of dollars. He could hire a team of hackers to hack a gas pipeline, right? And then cause a gas shortage. Where do people go? Electric cars.
Interesting.
I mean, I think just like, yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Russians.
I feel like all the actual like reliable clients of the people in power right now aren't the ones that are actually like being affected by this though, right? Like we're talking about like Southeast, right? Like it's just a bunch of chud country that's being affected, right? And so like I don't know how sound of a strategy that even is, but I get what you're saying, and like it has been strange to me this whole time that like all of this is like very perfectly on brand with the narrative right now.
Yeah, I mean, like gas isn't the only thing. Commodities pricing is
right
through
everywhere,
the fucking
lumber,
roof.
everywhere.
But food, you go to the supermarket, it's insane. And like think about it this way: a lot of boomers are getting to retirement age or nursing home age even, and they're at a point where they're on a fixed income. Well, how do you fucking exterminate those people? Because their fixed income doesn't go up with inflation, right?
Right. So
I think there's an element of that. And then there's an element of like the economy is designed to crash every 10 fucking years. Every time it crashes, if 10% of people lose everything, and it happens every 10 years, right? Numbers game. Right. Eventually, nobody's going to own anything. So it's all of a piece.
Shit. Yeah, I remember I was seeing some like some fucking somebody had some tweet, Alexandria or somebody had something where it was like the cost of living from like the 70s or whatever. It's just amazing when you compare like to now.
Oh
like,
yeah.
It's just yeah. What is it was like the average rent is $150 a month. Tuition to Harvard $2,600.
Fuck.
Movie ticket $1.50. Gas 40 cents per gallon. Yeah, new house $25K. New car $35.
You could take a girl on a whole ass date for what one OnlyFans subscription costs now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's Elon. Maybe it's who knows what it's
well, it's institutional white supremacy. That's what's causing all of this. Yeah.
You think so? Maybe.
I'm positive. That's the only thing I'm certain of in this world.
I'm waiting for the headline where needing gas is rooted in white supremacy. I'm waiting.
I'm pretty sure that headline already came out, or it was the gas hoarders are overwhelmingly white and Trump supporters.
Right.
You're responding to the incentives in modern capitalism. You did a heckin' racism.
It's not even that. It's like the people hoarding it are a very small percentage of retards who don't understand how like gas or cars or any of this works. The much larger percentage of people in those states, like the Carolinas, Georgia, these are states where the Democrats take their voter base for granted because it's mostly poor and black people, right? And the Democrats have always taken those voter bases for granted, which is why they hemorrhage them to Trump. But like in those states, the majority of people that are affected by the gas crisis are just low wage workers who, like, if you work for $10 an hour at a fucking Waffle House, you know, in Savannah, right? Like if gas suddenly skyrockets to $9.99 a gallon, you're way fucking more affected than, I don't know, some guy who like has a decent income, like maybe owns some land or something and is hoarding gas so he can like break his neck on an ATV.
Right. No, all this stuff seems like punitive and you know, I mean, I don't know how related it is to like, you know, this carbon tax stuff and all this climate austerity stuff and like, what is it, Buttigieg talking about taxing people per mile and like all this carbon footprint shit. There was articles about like New York Times or something like you need to stop taking hot showers and fucking.
Well, yeah, dude. Finally, the New York Times is finally in favor of getting people's testosterone levels up.
Right.
Yeah. I take a cold shower, I become fucking an unstoppable Vladimir Putin style cyborg.
Right. And do you see that shit where it was like your pet is emitting a carbon footprint and you need to like regulate how many pets you have, which is very much like that that post that I was talking about today where it was like somebody who's like a photo of like a family of like 10 kids and like this is environmental terrorism, like eco-terrorism.
You reposted that today, didn't you?
Yeah, I was posting about that. Like,
dude, that thing's a fucking classic, dude.
Oh yeah,
I remember that shit happened originally, dude. It pissed me off. Like that's one of the few things that really annoyed me. But that seeing it today made me laugh. But goddamn, dude, there's no way you can get away with saying. I hate to sound like a right winger right now. You cannot say that shit about fucking any other race. You can only do that with white people.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. I think. You can only get away with saying it about white people now, for sure. I totally agree. I don't think it's about white people. I think it's about people in general.
It's also a certain kind of white person, right? If it's like 10, like, I don't know, Boston suburb, like sweater wearing, like a knit sweater with a knit version of Dr. Fauci on it, and they're all like wearing masks, and it's like a family of 10 people. That's not who they're talking about. Even if though, you know, like it's specifically poor, like people,
sure.
People from the South, people that are perceived to be like Trump supporters. I
disagree though, because that environmental terrorism thing literally was like a fucking like affluent white family. Like I do
really?
think it is. Yeah, dude. Like I don't like. Nah, dude. Like it's just like that's the whole thing is that like wealthy white liberals, like their whole job is to just be like the cuck in the group that everyone just like completely shits on, and then they just like smile through it and pretend that they aren't just being completely disrespected the entire time. Like, nah, dude. I think a lot of it is just like straight up just being racist.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was arguing with Mutant and a couple other people about this, but like I don't. This is about the wokeness thing in general. I don't think the point is like they hate white people specifically. Like, I'm talking about the people with power. I'm not talking about the libs, the Jannies that enforce it. They definitely hate white people, sure. I mean, they believe in all the woke shit. I'm talking about the ones with real influence and power. I do not believe they actually believe in any of this shit. I really don't.
Absolutely not.
I don't think Bezos is a blue-haired SJW. I don't believe that. And a lot of right-wingers think that shit. They think that these people are like, they're reptiles. They don't believe in anything. You know what I mean? They don't have any beliefs.
Yeah, that's the Tucker Carlson saying Amazon, Facebook, or Twitter are the left, and it's like they're not ideological. If anything, their only ideology is power.
Yeah, they use the left. They use wokeness. And like, they white people in America, white underclass people in America that are right wing or whatever are the majority. So if you're anti-humanity, if you're anti-human, that's the one to hit, right? If you're in Africa and you want to push that agenda, you got to hit the anti-black. You know what I mean? Like you're hitting what the majority is. You know what I mean? It's all posturing. The whole pro minority thing is just. It saves money. Like it's less of a cost.
And those groups love the right too. They get to pick their enemy. So it's like if they if the elites run a propaganda campaign to get the left on their side about something, the liberal left, whatever, they're also running a propaganda campaign to piss off the people they want to piss off. Like nobody gets pissed. None of these corporations or like powerful figures, they don't piss anybody off if it's not on purpose. Like they strategize, they pick their enemies, and they pick who they want to subsume into the fucking, Democratic Party or whatever. And then they let her rip, and they're up in, fucking some $1,000 a day Airbnb somewhere, and they're like, fight it out amongst yourselves.
Right. And it's like the CIA woke video, the recruitment video. Like,
yeah,
obviously a lot of the left were saying, oh, no, the wokeness, they're just co-opting it. They don't mean it. They're co-opting it because they want to like sabotage the real genuine intent, which I disagree with. Like, there is no genuine intent. Like, this is the intent. That's the whole function of this, is to cover up for what the CIA does, for what the elites do. That's the whole function of it.
Yeah,
but I don't believe that the whole point of it is to do white male side. Like, I don't think that the elites are in a room smoking cigars being like, how are we going to kill the white race? I don't believe that.
I mean, I think the function of it is to just completely like lean off of any like localized culture that like globalization extinguishes. I think that's the real function of this stuff. And yeah, I mean, like if the premise is like whether or not like faceless bureaucracies and like the oligarchs whose job it is just to respond to like capital feedback loops, whether or not those people actually hold ethics, like, well, of course they don't. But like all of these institutions are like filled with like middle management bureaucratic functionaries that are spat out by the cathedral that have these uniform values that they actually believe in. Like to be honest, like those people are basically the most important part.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the most important. I mean, they're
I mean, think about how the election was stolen, right? And how people will be like, dude, it's all these different state elections, right? Like there's no centralized conspiracy, bro. Like that's like true to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's
and like
decentralized tyranny. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Exactly. And then we're talking about it. Exactly. I was literally just about to repeat what you just said. Yeah, no, exactly. Right. And like, I think that is like a very fucking big deal. I honestly think that like the like focusing on the Bezoses of the world is kind of just like the straw man that Bernie kind of brought about. And like, and it like, I'm very much concerned with like the woke shit that the people that actually make up the vast majority of the ranks.
But you can't let like as annoying as the woke shit is, you can't let that distract you from who the real enemy is, which is the people that fucking own everything. It is the Bezoses, the Zuckerbergs, the Dorseys, the Bill Gates, the Elon Musk, because like wokeness is eschewing basically any talk about the mode of production, any talk about who owns what. Instead talking about identity. It's reactionary. It's fundamentally reactionary, and they've done a very good job of convincing you that it's the opposite of reactionary.
Right.
But it absolutely is. Every every minute, it's like the DSA convention. Every minute you spend talking about like, I have sensory overload, instead of talking about like, oh, so this fucking guy owns everything around you. What are you going to do about it? It's completely on purpose. So I think it's important not to lose sight of the people who genuinely have power, even though they've sent the most annoying iteration of Jannies after you that they possibly could.
I just think that these Jannies will, and this cloak for what they do can be replaced, right? Like wokeness is the prevailing method they use to cover up for things. And before maybe it was like, oh, Christian values, we're on a crusade against, the Arabs in the Middle East. Whatever.
Yeah, when culture was like more localized and more on a national level.
They'll drop it like a rock. They'll say, fuck it, they'll go on to the next thing as soon as wokeness doesn't become a tool that they can use anymore.
Exactly. And these welfare queens, these black welfare queens, like it's all interchange. Like I don't want to, like the CIA, the left thinks that the CIA is using, they just caught wokeness and they're just using it right now. But it's like, no, they invented that shit in a lab. Like the elites and all the Bezos class, whatever, they invented it. But that's the thing. I don't want to pretend like the thing they invented, this decoy they're using, is the end all be all. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna follow the string.
I think that the original model we're talking about, though, of what preceded this is just like undeniably a better one. And like I have no idea what would replace this unless just like globalized capitalism completely collapsed in on itself, and then we went back to just like more national identity or like traditional cultural narratives. I don't know what else there would even be. And like again, like it's not like saying it's like lab grown is like adding like a little bit of like intentionality that isn't exactly there. Like no, it's just spread by just like the processes of academia. Like I don't know. I just
that is intentional.
I think you could go back as recently as the early 2000s for a glimpse at what comes next, right? I think the 90s were kind of, a reaction to the 80s. There was 90s were the introduction basically of political correctness. And especially, in the Clinton era, obviously with, the crime bill and all sorts of shit they were doing, it was completely hypocritical. But I think that like the 2000s, you had all of this, the invention of ironic detachment. 9/11 happens and boom, like everything is like the birth of the doomer mindset, basically, right? You had, and then as far as culture, you had fucking Carlos Mencia, you had Family Guy, you had all this shit, and it was edgy and fun and cool at the time. Like, think of yourself back in like 2006. What the fuck was on TV? Like, it's way different than now, where everything is an algorithmically generated Netflix special, hyper targeted to a fucking demographic, right. And I think that it's going to swing in the opposite direction because the Zoomers are already getting reactionary. They're already ironically doing literal like Third Reich shit on TikTok. And like I'm not fucking with you. You'll go on TikTok and it'll be like dance video, car video. I get a lot of car videos on TikTok because my feed.
Doomer be really in the trenches in fucking TikTok,
and then
he's always posting that shit.
And then sprinkled in with all these, it's like a video of like Nazis marching, and it's some fucking Zoomer doing like a Doja Cat dance, and the music has like Saweetie or something. It's crazy.
Well, this is all just end of history copes of people just like trying something different.
Right.
And that's like, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I just like, I think that like, yes, like the elites like derive their power from their client bases, which are the bugman workers and everything. And that's huge, right? The bugman workers are also just like the most warped, willing people to just completely destroy you and your life. And like, I think that there probably is something to be said for like considering them like a credible threat. I don't know. I at least think that like, that like they're a more immediate threat than like somebody like at the top of the Tower of Babel. Yeah, I don't know.
I completely disagree.
Standing in front of you, CRK, I'm with you. Like, people like are always. I think you're falling into the same trap, Slav. That people are like, well, let's like. Or I guess you're falling into the opposite trap of the people that are like, let's consolidate all the businesses under Amazon so we only have one big enemy to fight. It'll be simple. It's like those people have baby brains and they can't fucking multitask and have multiple enemies. You know, like they clearly have never been in a friend group where you have like multiple strains of drama going on or whatever. But like, I think you're falling into the trap of thinking that the absolute opposite side of the coin is true. It is really somewhere in the middle where it's like the people who are glossing over issues of class with cynical identity politicking and doing HR shit and oppressing workers on the ground. They're just the shock troops of the people at the very top, the elites who own everything, and they're in front of you and they're pissing you off and they are doing shitty shit to you on purpose.
Getting you fired,
so you get mad at them and you don't get mad at Jeff Bezos. You know, you don't get mad at the people that they work for, but they're literally that's who's paying their paycheck.
This is how I feel about it.
I would de-emphasize Jeff Bezos and I would just more emphasize just like incentives that are just set up that determine those outcomes. Like I don't think that there's the puppet master. I think that there's just like the walls of the rat maze.
Decentralized tyranny, bro. Like it's all set up by the people who in a shadowy back room decide how we're going to plan the economy, how we're going to plan culture. But then it's not like everybody gets the same memo. It trickles down through all these different diversified media sources, and it's self-reinforcing. So if you want to get and keep a job in media, in HR, whatever, you have to be at least smart enough to recognize the boundaries that you have to exist in, and then not be smart enough or be cynical enough to not realize or pretend not to realize that you are fucking evil.
I mean, that's why I hate the left, and that's why I hate the media. Is like they're the smokescreen, but I know that they're the smokescreen. I don't think that they're the enemy. You know what I mean? They're the ones like the whole idea of like, oh, they're going to turn your kids trans or whatever, that the right fears or whatever, right? Like that. You either take that as like, all right, this is the main concern, and my main fear is that they're going to try to turn my kid trans. Or the way I look at it is, this is bad because they're distracting from the fact that you can't even afford to have kids in the first place.
Exactly.
That is the thing that they're trying to keep your mind away from. It's like, oh, your kid should be trans. Like, yeah, my kid should be trans, or no, they shouldn't be trans. Like, you can't even have the kids. So what are you even arguing about?
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like they're taking your mind away from that. That's why I do think they're an enemy. That's why I talk about the left and the media all the time, because they're trying to take your mind off of that. But I'm not going to pretend like, oh, the end goal that the elite have, that they're in the back room smoking cigars thinking about, is how do we get everybody's kids trans, and how do we do male side? Like, that's not what they're thinking. And if I do think that that's the thing, then I mean, I'm fighting at the smoke screen. I'm punching
They're in the back
mirrors.
room thinking, okay, how do we use quantitative easing to enter into a period of hyperinflation so that the right wingers do a bunch of mass shootings because they think, like there's LGBT goons coming to get them, and the left people, they double down on idpol. They're doing like macroeconomic shit while you're squabbling over scraps.
I mean, again, it's not even that I'm like taking what they posture to believe like completely seriously. It's that I just think that like it's less cabalist and more just like those like middle management assembly line institutions, or just bureaucracies that have life in and of themselves, separate of any individual's like intentions. And I think that like a lot more emphasis goes on that slice closer to the middle than any like super elite.
No,
that is genuinely what I think. And like, again, it's like it would be closer to like an artificial intelligence than something like that. But like it's not quite all just like smokescreen. Like there actually is just like a bigger piece in this model for people just being like well-intentioned fucking retards.
Sure.
That's
I mean, yeah. I
it.
mean, they might turn everybody's kids trans, or they might actually like round up white people in camps. Like maybe they'll do that, but that's not what they want. They're like, that's not what they're trying to do in my mind. Like that's not what they're concerned about. If we do that to ourselves from the incentive structures they set up, they couldn't care less, right? They couldn't care who's being put in the camps or who's doing what to whose kids. Like they don't really give a shit because it doesn't affect them. They're all.
I mean, I guess I just don't argue against that just because it's like there's like no incentives I can even possibly think of for why anyone would ever put white people in camps to begin with.
Right. No, but I take your point. Like this is why I talk about the left more than the libs, and this is why I talk about them more is because I think that smokescreen, and you guys are right. Like it's decentralized tyranny. Like that's why I talk about it the most because I want to like, you know, dislodge that shit. And I see that that's what they're doing. Like the smokescreen is very effective. It's very powerful. It's not like a small thing. It's probably the main thing that's ruining everything. That's keeping this shit running. But I do know, but I'm just saying that, you know, there's a lot of right-towards that feel like that is the end-all be-all. That's the distinction I make.
Yeah, because they got picked as the bad guys. And, you know, it was all set up. But, guys, I got to bounce.
Oh, yeah.
But
yep.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on. And
dude, for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to dinner. You guys figure out this, you know, PMC elite situation, all right?
I love it.
I'm gonna go get laid. Yeah, you guys, good luck with that.
Yeah.
No, but thanks for coming on. We'll get you on another time, and we'll do something else.
All right.
Sure.
Peace out, Drew.
All right.
Thanks for talking, brother.
Yeah, go buy a microphone, bro. I love you guys. Peace.
All right,
see you, dude.
Bro. But yeah, we'll keep
Drew.
rolling.
What the fuck do you think?
Is it that bad? Is it really that bad?
I mean, it's whatever. I think it has. It's not. I think it has like. I think it has a certain charm to it. I don't know.
I think it doesn't matter because you all know that 300 Drilligans will listen regardless. So it doesn't matter how dog shit my quality is.
Yeah, the episode's getting the cum tribute either way. Yeah. Well, what do you think on this topic? You got anything to say, big man?
No, I do not. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was kind of tuning it out a little bit just because I'm really, really high. But I agree with you or disagree with CRK, and I think Doomer was saying things. That's my take.
Well, you said the important part. That's all I care about. So
I always just knee-jerk agree with Flog on anything, and then if I find out that it's like a reactionary take, then I just quietly unretweet it and hope he doesn't notice.
That's okay, man. I mean, the secret is that they all are reactionary takes, but anyways, yeah. I just urge caution at the. I don't know, man. It's kind of like we were. Wasn't this CRK? Are you still there? All right. Well, maybe we'll edit that lull out. But I was saying, I think this reminds me of the fucking discussion we had the other week about fucking rap music, right?
Right.
And I think it just kind of comes down to like, it more than anything, it's not even like a fucking interesting disagreement. It's just like some semantic misfire.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because it's just I mean, literally, like the thing that I think we can't really even say we disagree on is that like there are people in that middle slice that are true believers, and
100%.
the actual disagreement is just like how important that aspect of it,
the function of it
is.
Yeah, I think the disagreement is the function, but I 100% agree, and I think there'll be people who might argue with you or right-towards who will say, no, they don't, these middle people, these PMC people, the Jannies, they don't actually believe it. I don't believe that. I think they genuinely believe it. I've met these people. I've been around these people. I know they believe it. I've looked in their eyes. I've seen that wild look. Sure. Yeah, that wild look in their eyes. They believe this shit. They fucking believe it.
I'm PMC as shit, dude. They all fucking believe it. They espouse it. Like, you go hang out with them at like bars or you get lunch. They all say the same shit, dude. Like each other fucking shit straight from the fucking liberal media. It's just the same fucking shit.
Right. Yeah. And if we're asking like, does Joe Biden believe this shit? Like, I seriously
he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know where he's at. Yeah,
he doesn't. Joe doesn't even know he's alive.
Right.
But you know, I would say I would say that like that the feedback from the clients to the actual person in charge is, I would argue, a little bit more robust than maybe people want to give it credit for, and that like the actual true believers that like have some amount of sway over the Joe Bidens of the world, their genuine belief in that stuff is very relevant. That's my point.
Of course it is. Of course it is. And these people that I'm talking about that I've been around, and Drew's been around, like these people have power. They have real power, and they're not getting a memo from fucking Jeff Bezos, hey, do this shit. Like, they're doing it off the incentive structure that you're talking about. Like, they're just like, they believe it and they think. All I'm saying is that the people who originated the push, they're dead-eyed reptiles. They don't believe in anything. They don't feel anything. They don't care either way. And this is the thing, like, if you're in the 90s or whatever, and you're a black person or whatever, and you're seeing all this welfare queen shit, whatever, and they're putting guns and drugs in your hood, you would probably think, they want to kill me. The elites want to kill me because I'm black. You take the Hotep pill, and you'd be like, all right, the only solution is to push directly against this and, be anti-white or whatever. And then 20, 30 years later, that's the new thing. Now that's the new austerity means, is be anti-white or whatever. And would they have achieved victory? Would they have gotten what they wanted or taken the boot off their neck? Not really. Maybe in some small tributary way, maybe in some ways that maybe you don't think is that insignificant. Sure. But have they really climbed up the ladder that much? Not really. It's more like equalizing how shitty everybody else is living. Now you guys are living as shitty as we are. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean by like in the scale of like 30, 50, 100 years, to eliminate wokeness is not going to be the thing. It's not going to fix everything. That's all I mean in the macro scale. But I get what you mean. Like, again, I'm not going to deny that these people believe it and they're going to do shit. And you might fucking see, I don't know, you might see some insane. I mean, again, like I said, whatever crazy right wing shit they said that they'll do, it ends up happening. So, I mean, but I'm just saying in the broader scale, like it might not be on that in that framework. But,
I mean, I'll say this, right? If it was some other belief system in the place of what we're talking about here, I'd be opposing that, right? And it could be, right? Because like you say, it's about what's expedient and all of that, what's useful,
opportunistic. Yep.
Yeah, and so I think it's like do not get too attached to the battles of today, because then when it takes on a new face a couple decades from now, or probably sooner, to be completely honest, then you'll be, too stuck in the old mode of doing things.
Yeah, if you're a poor white person, you're the nigger of today. I mean, you were the nigger then, but you're really the nigger today. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of it. But I mean, you think about what I'm saying, like, it's deeper than just you being white. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, what's all that, Drew? You filling up gas? You siphoning gas?
he's hitting the station with Wolf Blitzer.
Sorry, I'm feeding my dog.
No, it's all right. But what do you think of that thing that they're saying that your pet might be emitting a carbon footprint that you gotta be mindful of?
Or how much is this fucking German Shepherd farting, bro?
Methane production from this dog. Dude, it's just fucking retarded. I think we're all on the same page. Like, we see things like this, and we have the correct opinion that they're fucking retarded. They want us to have like shitty, feminine, high estrogen ass dogs, like chihuahuas and shit. They want us fucking trans. They want us fucking with no
trans
kids.
dogs.
Yeah, they want fucking trans dogs.
Dude, I fucking love this shit. I fucking love that. Like, we need to have Drew on more often, because just earlier he's just like, yeah, man, I'm like half listening to this shit. I think I agree with parts of it. You and me have this whole conversation about wokeness, and like, I don't know how much like they want to turn our kids trans or whatever. And then just Drew, what are you thinking, man? Dude, they want to turn us trans. They want to do this shit to us. And it's like, honestly, dude, fucking go off, dude. This fucking rules. The anti-pet stuff is fucking insane. I think it's funny too, though, because they're getting a little bold with it, aren't they? Because they don't want everybody having children, right? And like that's like, I mean, that's pretty popular now, but it hasn't been that popular for that long, right? And they're already throwing the fur babies under the bus. Like, what the fuck is you're already rejecting the replacement. Like, you're getting a little bold.
I never thought lib white women would turn on dogs after fucking them and all that. It's wild.
Classic pump and dump, man.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
Yeah, we're going to need to get Felina to weigh in on this one.
You see, that's on my mind, and it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm like trying to think of everything else but saying the F with Felina.
Don't want to drop the F word.
Yeah,
Felina.
Okay. But yeah, so have you guys seen this other shit, this Twitter blue shit, like the subscription Twitter shit? Like, have you guys seen that?
Are y'all gonna do it?
Dude, I think I could probably turn a couple bucks doing this, you know?
Oh no, that's like we're talking about the model where you pay $3 a month to not have ads, and you can have like favorited tweets and shit like that.
This isn't like I don't give a shit about that.
Bro,
then.
no, it's this shit like pay $3 a month and you have a temporary undo button. You know when you send like an email through Gmail and there's like 10 seconds you can undo it. Like, hey, we're gonna give you that for your tweets.
Are you serious? They put that behind a paywall?
Yes.
Okay, as a quick side note, like that right there is proof that like none of these people actually have a meaningful stake in society.
What do you mean?
No, because like it's kind of like a normie take, but I literally think it's like true. If you could have just like are you sure about sending this button, then like the human damage created by Twitter would be like cut in half at least, right? Just like okay, dude, fucking Captain Obvious, right?
Oh,
well, they do, dude. They have a feature like that. Like if you are replying to someone and you call them like fucking retarded, or like you call them a dumb whore or something like that, I get a pop up sometimes of like, "Are you sure you want to say this?" Reminder, there's another human behind the screen. It's like when I'm insulting someone, so they're already doing that. So I don't really understand what the undo feature is. Is it like it loads your tweet and then it just sits there for a bit, and you can read it again, and you can undo it? There's like
a G, you know, when you send a Gmail email, like there's like that button that hovers at the top that's like, would you like to undo? And you got like you got like 60 seconds to hit it. You know, if you send like your boss porn or whatever by accident.
It's like a little animated paperclip that shows up and is like, man, I noticed you said kike a lot in that post.
You send it to your boss. That's weird. There's a .gov in this email address. That's
it's like a paperclip that's like, are you horny right now?
Yeah. But it doesn't make sense because you can just delete the fucking tweet, right?
Yeah,
you just 60 seconds later, you know, do some coke, get some uppers in you, and just sober up and be like, oh, fuck, this is a bad move, and delete it. You can just do that. Like, that's
the other thing they're talking about, too. It's like favorited tweets, and like bookmarking tweets is already a thing. So I don't really understand the distinction on that.
Yo, I saw that. I saw they're like, hey, you can put folders in your bookmarks. You can organize your bookmarks by folders.
Oh, my God.
That's actually like very Bugman shit. This is like the guys that have like hard drives where they like alphabetize their torrented movies on.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
I'm sorry if either of you guys do that.
Right? That one hurt a little bit.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay. We all have the Bugman in us like a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah.
But
my letterbox is super sorted.
On my old phone, on my Android, I have folders like for reaction images or fucking whatever, like Pepe's and stuff.
Well, that's just practical.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I also had folders for like Nico Lowell or AOC and fucking just e-girls and like I had all categorized. And now I was leaving my phone. I have 3,000 photos on my iPhone. And just nothing. I just have like a general feel of where shit is. So I'm just like scrolling constantly. I'm like, this is the fucking least efficient, most retarded thing. I'm looking at like the same fucking pictures of tits or, you know, whatever fucked up gore I have saved to my phone over and over and scrolling to get this perfect Pepe. It's just fucking horrible, dude.
Yeah, I've got my pictures like generally sorted. Not really sorted, but like I still have to scroll through a lot of shit, but like screen caps of cringe or whatever if I want to get to like a But I have it like generally sort of, but like, yeah, I mean, they're basically saying that you can do this. They can do this at any point. They could just have this option, but they're just going to put it behind a paywall. Like, this is the things they could think of to put behind paywall. Like, it's fucking pathetic. Like,
are y'all going to do it?
Hell no. Hell, what's that thing too where it's like you could charge people to read your tweets, like super tweets or like
that's what I'm talking about. Is like, dude, I'd be interested to just to do that for my account and then
y'all get some money.
I mean, just like see how it.
Would you do it, Drew?
Fuck yeah, I'll do it, dude. If someone wants to send me money so I can tweet about like taking a shit or hating my life, fuck yeah, I'll do it. I don't give a shit, dude. I'm sure I can get like $100 maybe.
Oh, for real? Oh, your followers are like, they are fucking dedicated. You would actually, because it's about the dedication of the fan base, and yours would be like, they would fucking pay for real. Absolutely. That'd be an easy like 100 a month, cool 100 a month. Like that'd be. I don't know if I would do it. I mean, maybe. I mean, that'd be.
No, definitely should. Your FedPost people, some of y'all would pay. Some of them would pay. I'm sure.
You got a lot of sickos, a lot of problems. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Y'all are rolling in the cash from that Patreon, aren't you?
No.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, no. Oh, dude, don't be bashful, man. I think we're bringing in like $20K or something like that.
A week, $20K. Something like that.
I'm getting to the point where I think I'm gonna have enough money to be able to have regular payments to Matt Christman and Amber Frost to just shut the fuck up. I'll just have monthly payments to them. Just never.